You may have heard photographers say that cloudy days are particularly great for taking photographs, and in many ways this is very true. This is because the usually harsh light of the sun is diffused behind the clouds. This gives a soft, even light that is particularly flattering for photographs of people. Today we'll be covering why the direction and quality of light can make a massive difference to our photos. When you decide to take a photo of someone, the most intuitive and natural thing to do is to start looking around for a nice background. But I'm going to share with you an exciting new way of thinking about photos that will really help improve the way they look. Even on cloudy days, there's a good direction of light and a not very good one. If you want to take great photos, then you need to figure out where the best light is coming from. This will make your pictures bright and radiant. Look at these two photos taken just moments apart. The first was taken on a bench, and the second just moments later when my friend's little girl went for a walk and was facing a different direction. It's not because I got my settings wrong. This difference is solely to do with where the best light was coming from. For our photos to look amazing, we need to be really mindful of what the light is doing and where we stand in relation to that. Although backgrounds are important, it's essential that you think about the light and find the best direction before you take a single shot. This photo of my friends Nat and Dave was taken on a cloudy day. It's okay, but you can see that there are dark shadows cast over their eyes and the scene looks a bit flat. Look what happens when I have them turn around and shoot from the other side. Suddenly the light is radiant, soft but not dull, and incredibly flattering. Also, the background with the trees is beautiful, with the light hitting them and adding depth to the photo. This is what we want to achieve with all our photos, and it really is quite simple. It just requires a few moments of thought and some test shots before you start taking any important pictures. I want to take some photos of my friend Rachel and her family. But rather than get the family to come and pose for me straight away, I'm going to ask Rachel to come and stand in front of me, and I'm going to walk around her on her own, taking photos from different directions and checking what they look like on the back of the camera. What I'm looking for is the most flattering, soft light available. As I walk around Rachel, can you see how the light on her face changes as I stand in different places? This is due to the direction of the light, because even though the sun is hidden behind the clouds, the light is still coming from a certain direction. Where we stand in relation to the light affects how radiant our photos look, so it's our job to figure out where the best place to stand is, even when we can't see the sun. We do this by what I'm doing right now, walking around our subject and looking at how the light changes as I move around her. I'm stopping to take a photo every few steps and checking the back of my camera to see how it's looking. You can see what a difference the direction of light makes by comparing these two images taken just moments apart. The light in image 2 is much more flattering. Now I know which direction of light is the most illuminating, soft and pretty, I can position myself from this direction for the majority of the pictures that I'll take of the family. It's not an exact science, so don't get too caught up analysing your pictures. But when you look on the back of your camera, you should start to see that from some directions, the light on the face of your subject looks much nicer than from other directions. It's really down to your own creativity to choose the angle that you think looks the best. When you know what direction of light is best, you can then choose your backgrounds based on this. Choosing backgrounds based on the light will ensure you get that soft, radiant effect to your images, which will give your photos a professional look. It's really important to understand that whenever you take a photo, there'll always be one direction of light that will bring the best quality to your images. If you can remember to move around and keep taking test shots until you get the nice angle, this will really help improve your photos. This is why it's so important to never just go quickly to take a photo based on a nice background. It's a big mistake which most people do make. Always find a nice direction of light first, and then look to see which backgrounds would work well with that. So when it's cloudy, don't just head outside and think, wow, great conditions for photos. Take the time to walk around your subject first and take test shots to determine the most flattering direction of light. Then choose your backgrounds based on this. This way, you'll end up with beautiful, radiant, professional-looking photos. Over time, you'll get a feel for what's going to work before you even take a photo. Once you have your preferred direction of light, then you simply just try and choose backgrounds which face the same or at least a similar way. But what should you do about taking test shots if you're shooting candid photos or it's not appropriate to walk around in a circle taking photos of someone? Of course, sometimes it's not possible to ask someone to stand there while you walk around like this. A good example where I couldn't do that would be if I was shooting a wedding. I wouldn't ask the bride and groom to do this, or the wedding guests while they were eating their canapes. It would be impossible anyway, because at a wedding you're constantly on the move in different places. But I do still follow a similar process, just without being obvious. As I'm shooting, I'm still thinking about the direction of light. I'm moving around and double checking the images on the back of the camera and looking at how where I stand is affecting the images. Once I find that sweet spot where the light looks just perfect, then I make sure that a large percentage of my shots, as many as possible, are taken from that direction. So once I found a good direction of light, I would try and shoot all my candids, if possible, from that angle while still moving around the guests. Obviously, sometimes you can't help where you're positioned if something happens quickly that you need to get on camera, or for an important event like the bride arriving. I can't control what side of the car she gets out of, so sometimes you just have to capture what's happening right then and there. But when you can control it, like what side of a swing they sit on, or where the group photos take place, you'll notice such an improvement in your pictures when you take the direction of light on board. Let's recap what we've learned in this session. Direction of light is really important. Think about it before starting to shoot. Walk around your subject until you find the best light. And once you've found the best light, pick your backgrounds based on this.